Okay, welcome YouTube guys, welcome students. I'm gonna hit record. Let's get going.
Record.
All right, guys. So welcome to our live analysis session. Now today's more of a review. Let me see what's happening with the price action moving forward. We have quite a few things to do for the week. All right, let's go for what the price action is doing here. Let's see what's going on in the markets. All right. Now, because it's Friday, we're not going too heavy, but still opportunities can come on Friday, and then we can go from there. And let's see what goes on from there. So I'm going to put on Nzd Cad again. So New Zealand dollar Cad is my pair that I'm watching for, but we'll come back to that in a moment. Let's have a look at what's going on. So pound USD is where I'm going to start off with first. So again, we've had quite a weak reaction now. There's two parts to the order block that we can look at. I'm going to put both on. So we have the weekly reversal signature and the break of market structure. Now, again, I always said if we had a break of market structure above 1.40, that would have been a clearer sign. But the price is still moving short. And now that we've come to this area of demand, the price has slowed down, but not completely stopped. Okay. Is inside of this area at the moment. The body of the candle looks, or H4 candle looks like it's edging forward for a short, but the price is still pushing down. And if I go around to where we are here, the end of this demand zone on the H4 anyway is about 1.35900 approximately. Okay. Now, at the moment, if we look at what's going on today, you can see that we've just had a very weak bearish trend. Now, this weak bearish trend may be a good sign. If I drew the trend line right here, then potentially what you could have is if there is some sort of strong break above here, then we could be going for a nice movement long, and the reversal may start if the price would like to do that. That's one aspect. Or the price is just gearing up and we're going to have a redistribution in the price, and the price is going to continue going short. And if that, in that case, if it does go short, then we're just going to go for the next demand zone down, which is not a problem. I mean, from where the price action is right here, the short is not a bad idea either. But then if the price was to not do as such, then again, I'll look for the price to drop down to 1.34. Okay, now because of the situation with COVID again, I was reading today an article, and an Israeli doctor has warned the UK that they should roll out, or if get more jabs going, booster jabs going forward. Otherwise, the UK is at risk of a fourth wave. I didn't even know there was a fourth wave. I still thought that we were on wave number 2. So the fact that there's been another one before that, and then this one, I didn't even have any idea about that. So with that being said, the UK has had a very strong uptick in the number of cases. And if you haven't been seen already, even if you do have the vaccine or you have been double jabbed, as they would say, you still run the risk of being able to get the contract COVID again from the highly infectious one, or highly infectious one, which is the Delta variant. So for me, looking at the price here, we've had very slow movement today, not much activity at all. I mean, from where the price started off in Asia, for us anyway, into the UK session, is only done 35 pips at best. So we haven't really seen much movement here on there. And the price is most likely going to stay like this. There isn't any more major news. I will take a look at the news in a moment. We can look at the economic calendar. There isn't any actual news left. But what I will do, I will switch over and just show you guys the news quickly, what it looks like. So yeah, guys, here's the news. We had the retail sales, and there was a trade play looking for on Nzd Cad for a short. Now the retail sales came out worse than expected, but better than the previous. So the price hasn't really done much, but is a lot better than the previous. So month on month, retail sales in June is at 4.2%, and the previous month was minus 2.1%. So we've seen a 6 well, yeah, I would say, yeah, 6.3 gains right there, 6.1, sorry, gains. Although it's not the consensus, that doesn't really matter. Now the retail sales for excluding automobiles is at 4.7%, so it's better than expected, but that's medium impact. So these two results together, on average, gives the Canadian dollar a little bit more of a bullish edge than a bearish one, but it hasn't really reflected in the price. So let me switch back again to where we are on charts. So Nzd Cad, I'm looking for the price to pull back here and give us a short. I mean, from the H4, the price has entered into the H4 version of supply and is now starting to sell off. And if the reaction is good enough, then it might short from there. But there's some inefficiencies that need to be filled out. If this is going to go short, I expect the price to come for these lows that are equal and give us. And the target really for this trade is down here, at least down there for the first target. And my main target really is back over here at this point right here. This is where I expect the price to go and get to beneath this low here at 0.85978. So it is a really nice trade and the potential for it is quite good. When I look at the price action, to me, it is still bearish. The New Zealand dollar is not completely done with the bearish narrative. The Canadian dollar has taken a dip in price and so has oil, which we'll look at in a moment. And I think we probably will see some reversal signature soon. All right, so quick review, USD CHF. Now, again, as I said, I made the students close USD CHF. It was a great sell to start off with. Absolutely fantastic sell. Now, the price is struggling on the bullish side, but I do think that the price is trying to return for another entry. My entry target is right here at 0.9 to 92,200. I expect the price to get here and then give us another entry for a short. I don't believe the short on USD CHF is done just as of yet. We had a very beautiful trade. The technicals for it we've been through already, but I do expect the price to return back to the other side of this demand zone. Everything matters in the market, but this demand zone area is where I'm expecting the price to get back into, probably an overshoot into supply. And then we can have the flip of this demand zone and the price returning back down to the other side here. This is what I'm expecting the price to do. So, on that note, I'll put this here. I do expect to see the price action for this movement occur soon. And let's see what happens now. Because there's not much liquidity in the market, it is a Friday and quite a strange. Last Friday was really strong in terms of the amount of liquidity in the market. And then this week has been quite weak. So I'm expecting next week that we should see more liquidity coming in. All right, Euro USD. All right. So as I've spoken about Euro USD, I already have my markings here. Now I don't know why the chart's gone weird the way it has. But let me just fix this up. So if I put this right here, let's delete this. I'm going to delete all of this stuff so that we can have a clearer chart and have a look at what's going on here. So this strange line that has formed, don't know what happened here, why it came along. All right, here we go. Let's just go to object properties. So this is actually a good point. If you ever get stuck in something like this, you can actually double click and go to object list on this chart and just delete list all, or you can start to delete everything from here. So I'm going to click on all the trend lines that exist and delete them all. And then after, it should get rid of everything. Sometimes you get these little glitchy moments where this happens. All right, delete all the trend line stuff. But then it's going to actually remove my marking. So maybe not. Let's try again. And go down to the weekly here. And then down to the daily. I should be able to get this line possibly. Yeah, I get it. There's a bit straight. There we go. Got it. All right, so I've got the line now, so we can delete all of that. Let's have a look at Euro USD then. I start on the monthly. So again, we had this short reversal that I gave the signature for. At the moment, the price is inside of a monthly demand zone area, which I do think is about to break. And I do expect the price to give us some very strong short activity. On the weekly here, we can see how strong the bearish strength is at the moment, and it's continuing now. Now we're approaching near the area which I talked about, which is the 1.16400 area. which is where we had the election news, and there was some price inefficiency here, which I believe now the market has the chance to fill. Now that this price is shorting the way it is, the best thing to do would be to look for a continuation. Now, I'm sure there's going to be some sort of reversal because the market, unless there's some very strong fundamentals, wouldn't just be going one way for a long time. There would be some sort of reversal somewhere there, or retracement at least. Now, again, the targets for the first trade going short would be back down here. Because we're getting towards the end of the year now, I actually have to look back a little bit to find the supply zone. It's not just there like it used to be. But I expect the price to get into this area of demand as a first target before it starts to pull back a little bit. But I'm looking for a short right here. Now, in order for us to get this short, I would like to see some sort of signature for us to, a good pullback will be good. I mean, when I look at the price action here, I think that this wick needs to be filled out. I definitely think that this wick is going to definitely be filled out here. But how the price will achieve that would be another question for another day. But again, Euro USD is that I'm short on every Euro pair. Now, Euro Cad, based on what we've had with if I put it to you, we have many different scenarios on different Euro pairs. The only pair that I know of that's actually been going long is Euro Cad and Euro NZD. Okay, because the New Zealand dollar and the Canadian dollar have experienced very strong levels of weakness recently. But I'm sure a reversal is soon to come. But with Euro USD, I definitely think the price is going to continue short. And we know that the dollar, there's talks of tapering, but talks basically mean that they're going to actualize it sooner or later. They're just not saying when. But there is going to be US dollar tapering happening very soon. AUD USD, guys, I'll give you guys the trade for this already. We had this accumulation range here. So this range of accumulation is a redistribution of the liquidity from up here. So right here, we had our first range that the price performed for us. We had reversal signatures, all of that good stuff. I still think AUD USD is going to give us a massive long very soon. Okay. But we've had a very strong short, then a redistribution of liquidity to continue going short. And now we're here, we're approaching the inefficiency again. So the market's filling out things in 2020 that it didn't get to finish off. And now that we have this, I'm expecting more shorting to happen. Maybe towards the end of the day, we might get here, but the price has slowed down again today. The market has given out a lot of pips since the beginning of the week. Okay, so from the 16th here, the price has literally just been going one way for the whole week. So it's been an interesting week like of a sell-offs. But this is from the schematic here, I don't think we're done selling. I think Monday and Tuesday next week will continue, and we should see, the price performing some interesting stuff when it comes to maybe some reversals. Now, USD Cad has continued to go long. I'm still watching out for the weekly zone that we had marked out, and the weekly zone is here from December, and we might actually close the week above it, depending on what the price does. We still have about, well, in our time, roughly around about 8 hours and 12 minutes left of the market. Yeah, 8 hours and 12 minutes before it's time to close. So within that time, if we get a weekly close above this zone, then we should be looking up for the higher supply areas. I still think that USD CAD is a short. How the price has achieved this long has been fantastic, though. All right, we had the fill of this wick here with the body and then a reversal signature here, and now the price is pushing long. Now, from the monthly time frame, the next supply zone up is literally right about here. So there is the chance that the price may actually be going towards 1.29 here and to 130 up here. So if this is the case and we're going to get a continuation, then there should be one more long continuation before a short. Now, we're looking for how the short is going to arrive here. Now, the short that I took in July was when the news came out. I took a short from roundabout, I believe here. Yeah, from here in June down to then August. I also took a short somewhere around here, and then July. The short I took in July was from here down to around about here, which was a good one. But this is hardly any pips compared to what the price has done. So again, with USD CAD, I think we have more upside to go. And I'm expecting to see a continuation of some sort. Now, I'm really gutted about this trade because after the potential short that we had that didn't happen, we had pending orders set for within this zone, guys. And the price missed our stop loss by our pending orders by about 2 pips or less, all right, for the price to take off long. Now, as traders who observed market order books and liquidity, the reason why we didn't take this trade just because the price spiked and kissed it but didn't enter in is because that doesn't mean that the price has entered into this area of liquidity to us and for normal market cycles. If the price is going to go strongly long, then it will need to return back into demand. And you can see here, we didn't have the return. So my expectancy was for the price to pull back one more time and actually return into this area, which is what would usually happen, and then take off. But instead, we just had the price kiss somewhere near here and just go. And it's done an absolutely crazy amount of pips. And our target has been hit twice already on the way up, let alone, 3 times. So with USD Cad, it was a fantastic trade. I'm happy that we had the direction correct, looking at what the price was doing from our area. The price came very close to it, but we just didn't get that kiss in that side of the zone. So moving forward now, Nzd Usd again, still bearish to me. All right, now I think you guys have seen what the price has done. So even though we had the range of accumulation here, we had an A to B swing, and then we had C right here. And then after we've had the D, and I told you that this D point C to D movement, the reason why there was more delay on it is because the market needed a reason to kind of push that supply liquidity into the market in that sense. And we know that we had the New Zealand dollar interest rate news this week, which was proposed to actually increase the interest base point rate or interest rate from 25, 0.25% to 0.50%. So, saying that, I think we've had a very interesting period of time in this market, and I expect it to continue pushing short. We have gaps here and lots of lows that need to be taken. So I'm expecting Nzd USD to do another set of pips, at least another 340. I really am. Okay. All right, guys. So I'm going to switch over charts. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so looking at what we have here, I'm switching over. All right. So a lot of the pairs that we're seeing, CAD, Japanese yen, they've all taken a dip. A whole load of them have done some very massive movements. So scanning through here, let's see what opportunities are available. Looking at things like pound Japanese yen, there was a chance for a long, but I can see the bearish momentum is piling up now. And I think we're going to see some very strong shorting very soon. But let's see what happens anyway. So I'm going to scan through, see what's here. Now, Swiss franc Japanese yen, I was looking for a long on this. And I still am looking for a short-term long. We had very interesting price action here. So if I'll go through the Japanese yen analysis here again, and then we can have a look at what's going on. So again, Swiss franc Japanese yen, we had some reversal signature here of the previous monthly low, and we had a bear trap form here. Now the highest previous swing before this movement here at A that's now been called A, okay, produced a market structure break. So we had break of market structure here of the previous higher swing. So that break of market structure that we've had from A swinging up to B here, we look for the pullback, and we had the price returning back into the demand area of this larger swing compared to the previous one. And then the price returning to this region. Now we had in here smaller time frame market structure break, and then we had the return. Now, when we set the pending order on the H1 here, the pending order was for this order block, and we see the price has skipped down beneath it and then broken back above it here. So this is a bit of manipulative action, and I still think that Swiss franc Japanese yen is a long, and I will possibly be taking a long again on this pair. I think the price is praying hard to get this movement here. I definitely think was just manipulative to kind of discourage us from the buy-in. But this trade really is not the main direction of this trend. Okay, if I go to the higher time frame, to the daily for a moment, we can see up here that we had a very strong reversal signature, and the resultant candles gave us a very large set of bearish activity. In 3 days, the price dropped over 300 pips, 325.6 to be exact, from, or 322, roughly around that range there. So that large drop in 3 days lets us know really where the market is now. To put that into perspective, guys, if you want to have some analytical skills you can take home with you today. If I drew a line here from the low of this third candle, which is right here, and we just count up the candles to see how long it took to get to this point. From where we are, it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. It took 35 days, guys. Or if I just draw the candles from here, if I take it from the high, that's the other easier way to do it. I just wanted to count for the effect of how serious this is. But anyway, if you use the crosshair tool or MetaTrader and you click and hold from one line to the other, the number on the left will tell you how many candlesticks there are. So in other words, it took 35 days for the price to do this long. And in just 3 days, the price has recovered 95% of that liquidity on the short side. So you know that the bias is definitely heavily bearish on this pair. However, when this break of market structure happened, we haven't had the return to supply. All right. So really this trade for the long that we're going for is based on a return to supply here. I expect the price to give us this return back to the supply area, which is up here, which is where our targets are, around this region right here. And then from there, the price should give us a very strong short again and form on the higher time frame a higher A to B swing, which is also the A, then the C swing here, and then a very strong short. So Swiss franc, Japanese yen, okay, this is what my expectations are on the pair. This is why I'm not letting up on this long. I do believe it's going to happen. I just think that the price is playing a bit hard to get. And I'm not changing my analysis. The only way I would change my mind on this is if the price closed beneath this low right here, which is quite a few pips away from where we are right now. It is 84 pips away from where we are. So there has to be some sort of strong short that was going to convince me that the price is not trying to do that. But for me, looking at the structure of price right here, for me, this is where we are at the moment. So I'm watching out carefully to see what goes on. And then from here, we'll see what happens. I'm thinking possibly that the price is playing hard to get and playing a bit cheeky. But when the market opened, interestingly, this secondary demand zone right here, the price spiked right into here. So I'm convinced that we definitely are going to have a long. The structure of the price is a bit funny. And I have seen times where the market can do something like this and still do a long. But I'm not giving up on this trade whatsoever. The market is going to have to really stop me out of this for me to take my mind off of this trade and say that I'm not in it anymore. But I do think that I'm just thinking that most likely that's depending on what time of day or what's going on, Swiss franc, Japanese yen might do one more entry, or the market might open by taking in an interest in this low and taking this low here. And then we might see the price push long. So either it's going to push long. And now there are a few times where I've seen that the entry for a very good move is at like 8 o'clock GMT on a Friday, which is just awkward. But I'm hoping that we might get this pattern in one more time. But this is definitely going to be a very powerful long, despite what the market seems to be doing. I think this is going to be a very good long. I just want to see the market provide, the opportunity for it. Now, I'm having the feeling that I possibly just want to take this trade long and even swing it into next week. But it's just that when the spread opens up, things can get a bit tricky. So it's hard to want to enter on Friday. That's the only thing I do hate. I hate when there's good trades like this where the entry is hanging around an area and it's Friday. If it was even Thursday, maybe I would take it. But because it's Friday, I don't want to settle for it, but I'm gonna try my best to see if I can get the lowest down entry with us and the students. But this is definitely a trade I'm taking long. I literally would rather let the market stop me out. This is worth risking 0.5%, 0.5. I do think the price is going to give us this short. All right. And on that note, I'll finish off with our last look at things. All right. So those of you on the YouTube, I hope